Want to show some different sounds that are possible and licks
Sure.
that you've got together?
Well, one thing I love to do is just take the trem down and lock it into a lower key and just chunk away a real heavy thrash sound like this. When you're up in this, when you're, I should say, locked down in this key, you get great bendability too. If I have it locked in center E, and I play in the 5th fret area, I'm playing solos or chords in the key of A. So if I'm in this area, that's A. If I take the arm and put it down 1 notch, D, move my hand up 1 step, what looks like B is still A, but the strings give me the feel that maybe I went from having 9 gauge to 8 gauge. I can do the same thing. I can take it down again, move up. Now if you notice, I did the same lick.
Right.
I didn't change the key I was in, but I was moving my hand. I went from A, went down a notch and up, to A, went down a notch and up. And that's an A chord each time. If I lock it up here, I get some really high tones. So I can be up here. Some real high notes.
It's pretty wild.
A lot of little licks like that.
Seems like Ned may have put the capo companies out of business here.
Yeah, well, what he did was, you know, if you put a capo here, you're cutting off half the neck.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Also, if you bend strings, they get caught under the
then they
capo.
don't catch, yeah.
With this, you lock it up. I still have open strings, full neck playability, no problem with bending.
Of course, it makes a great tremolo bar. That's one thing to point out. Number one is that if kids just pick it up and are intimidated at first, perhaps by a lot of advanced musical things that they can come up with, they can still, it makes a perfect whammy bar because you've really got exact tuning changes. So I like to do, for example, in a country type thing, get that bagpipe kind of effect. And I love just being able to drop down to another key. I mean, for example, you can lock it and get a funky. And there are shows I've done where I've actually had guitars with capos on them,
right,
and flung the capo off in the middle of the tune to get a certain sound, and then gone to another guitar and had roadies going crazy, and that can all be done with one guitar now.
The point is, if you have 2 of these in a band, okay, both guys, like Owen and I demonstrated earlier in some of the tunes, can do stuff together that people like, you know, what is going on here? They have no idea. I mean, I'll demonstrate from E to D to C to B, okay? 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 And a flick of a switch, you're from B back to E, okay? Same thing with going up, E to F sharp. Okay, that would be a fretting way of doing it. A trem way of doing it would be...
You've been playing through the photon system. Actually, you could use any guitar to use the photon system, but why?
Yeah, actually, you could.
But why did you pick the Steinberger?
This in particular, because of the special Steinberger composite neck, the tracking is far superior. It instantaneously reproduces what you're playing. Whereas on other guitars, it'll still track well, but there's something about the way this neck is made that just really takes care of business.